everybody, and welcome to City Skylines Episode 6. So, in our last episode, we put in our metro stops. However, we didn't have enough money to connect them with actual railway lines. But we have a super big demand for residential, especially since we just put in our oil industry. So, we're going to create a little neighborhood over here, which is going to serve this oil industry with workers and that kind of stuff. So we're just going to create a square on the other side of the railways. That way there's a little bit of a separation from the pollution and all that nastiness. And then we're going to create a line off of this roundabout. It's a little bit difficult because we can't really see. The roundabout, like highway extensions, are high enough for roads to fit underneath them. However, connecting it through under the overpass and then also over the rail lines was giving me some serious difficulty. So, what we're going to have to do is just build it out from the underpass and then bump it up so that way it's at the same height as the highway, and then just cross over the railway, doing it that way so that way they can actually have access over here. And that also provides them a pretty quick way to get to work. They don't have to get onto the highway. They can just take all these little side streets to get to their oil industry jobs if that's where they want to work, which is where the most demand for workers is right now. So that's probably where most of them are going to work. Before we put in any of our zoning, let's be sure to add some water pipes so that way they're all taken care of before they even move in. We do have an electricity connection that we just brought up from our main island. And then to split up the square a little bit, we're just going to do a line straight through the center. That way we can zone every single square or tile. Let's go ahead and pop in a fire department and a little tiny hospital clinic area and a police station. So that way all of their safety and all that is considered. We're also going to put in an elementary school so that way they can be a little bit educated. They don't necessarily need to have office workers. They don't need to be super educated. However, they do need to have at least an elementary school education at first. So it's going to be a little bit noisy since they're between the train station and the highway. Probably not the most glamorous or luxurious place to live, but that's fine. We're going to give them a little bit of commercial so that way they can get their shopping done, hit up the supermarket and all that good stuff. And then since our demand for residential is still pretty high, even after all of those tiles were filled in, we are going to put in some high density residential, of course. And those are going to just be some nice apartment buildings that should hopefully knock down our demand for residential pretty quickly. And here they are all built up. What a cute little neighborhood. Let's give them some public transportation so that way they aren't all having to park on the street. So we'll take it from that main kind of like fire plate, by the school, I guess, and the fire station and police station. We'll also add a bus stop here in the middle of the neighborhood. Or, yeah, we should probably do it by the commercial so that way they can do that. And now we have a bus loop for this little town. The houses are very cute, very quaint. Let's rename this. Make sure that we only have one bus on the route. We don't need 5. There's not that many people living over here. And so that should get them from here to their work, and it's also stopped right before the metro station. So if they do want to go more into the center of town, they have that option of public transportation. And let's see, they still want us to build more residential, but I think, yeah, there isn't really any notifications over there that they need more workers. Oh, that is garbage. Okay, let's check what's going on with our garbage. I really want to replace all of our landfills with incineration plants, but we don't have the money for that yet. So let's go ahead and make sure that these landfills are emptying out. And yeah, our traffic's getting kind of bad on this roundabout. So as you know, this is a vanilla playthrough, so I don't have any mods installed. Specifically, what is it? The Roadway President Edition Traffic manager, yeah, that I don't have that. So let's try to do our best with no DLCs or anything like that. We'll just make all of our off ramps here just one lane. That'll give them a turning lane. That's not all three of them have to turn, but just that one lane can turn. And then if we take a look, it looks like most of those are just trash cars. We could add a stop sign to kind of like make sure that the people in the roundabout have priority. Yeah, we'll try that out and see if that helps anything at all. Our problem is that they're all sticking to that far left lane, and it didn't really seem like the stop signs were helping at all. The despawning of the vehicles will happen automatically, and hopefully those little single lane slips to go on and off will help. But if it doesn't, let's just create a line directly from here to there so that way they can bypass this roundabout if they aren't going to that neighborhood. Specifically the trash trucks, I think, are going to be the main ones that use that. Maybe a couple bigger trucks to deliver to the commercial that we have down there. We did save up a little bit of money, so let's go ahead and add some death care, some cemeteries around the place. We'll put one over here. We put one up at the tip of our island as well. And that should help with our... Do we have the crematorium? No, we need 12,000 population to unlock the crematorium. So the cemetery should be fine. If we look back over here, yeah, traffic died down on that roundabout, so adding those extra few little slip lanes did help out. Obviously, it's not the solution. The solution would be to set up that roundabout properly with giveaway signs and all that, but I don't have that. I don't have that power. So let's go ahead and now that we have about 48,000 monies, let's go ahead and hook up this metro station at least a little bit so that way we can connect at least 2 stops, and that will also help reduce the amount of traffic that we have if we give them more ways to get around. So we'll do that. Beautiful, fantastic. And then do we have money to connect this one up? Let's try it. Let's see. Not enough money. Okay, well then let's we need about 49,000 monies again, more than that. So let's do some detail work, take a look around, see if we can build some more roads, build some more residential, because once again, that's what we have the most demand for. So I did consider putting the university over on that other island, but since we already have this built up pretty well, let's just continue it over here. We'll take this road and kind of wind it around in some very organic bends and curves. Hook back up that electricity. Yeah, there they go. They are freaking out. They do not like it. Let's just hook it up over there and call it good. And then we can delete this electricity line. That way it stays on one side of the street and they can get power pretty quickly while we're trying to save up some money. We'll build a little offshoot, some straight lanes off of this curve to kind of do little neighborhoods. About every 5 tiles, so every time there's a node, we'll just take that node and make a little road off of it. Hopefully not demolish any homes in the process, but we'll see. And I do want a way to connect to that main road eventually, because that's a really long way for them to have to drive to get back onto the main road. But let's make sure they have water coverage. We did put some high density residential in that little area. We got the water coverage, and so those apartment buildings should build up pretty quickly, pretty nicely. Oh, we need some parks over here, so let's slap some of those around too, and that'll make the property value go up. This area already has pretty high property value. Oh, small city. Okay. All right, so what did that give us? That gave us a train station and the cargo train station, which is perfect because last episode we did buy those tiles in preparation for unlocking the train, so now that we have them, we can have some fun messing around and dealing with that. Put a little park over there, And then we'll get rid of that house and put a park right in the center. And then we just need a park over here for these people. So just checking the radius about where it's going to best go. Accidentally deleted an apartment there, but that's fine. They didn't have that many people living there yet anyways. So hopefully with that park, that helps with the citizens over there. There is a pathway close to that park, which is good. And what else do we want to build in here? Let's take a pathway and connect these people to the commercial right there, so that way they can walk pretty quickly if they want to go shopping. That little strip is all of the commercial that we have at this side of town, which is nice because it keeps our truck traffic pretty low. You know, we do have a couple corner shops dotted around mixed in with our residential, but I don't really like doing huge strips of commercial because I just don't think that's very realistic. I think the closest we have is like malls, like outdoor malls, and there's very little housing around them. But those obviously are not very popular anymore with online shopping. So let's go ahead and get a high school over here for them as well. And then we'll just continue this road. Like I said, I did kind of want to like make sure that these hooked up. Eventually we can do like a cute little spiral, maybe. I do want a university, but we do not have money for that yet, so let's save up some. And flash forward a little bit, we are going to connect those metro lines. We created the underground pathway, but we never hooked up the metro lines. So you just saw one person go in. We can kind of watch as people hop into this and use our new metro station to get around. That is fantastic. And let's click on over to our metro. One vehicle, perfect. That's all we are gonna need to get from point A to point B. And the let out spot is over here. It's right next to some elder care and some commercial. Is a slip lane off of the highway, but it's also right by our giant like walking highway path. This is probably not the best location. Let's go ahead and add some stop signs so that way the people coming off the highway didn't add the crossing guard, but at least hopefully they won't run over as many people, because that's terrifying. But this end of the metro station seems to be pretty popular, which is exciting. So we do have 89,000 monies. So let's connect to this tip over here. We'll do a giant kind of sweeping curve. Perfect. And then we have 32, so that's not going to be enough to connect the other end from the oil industry over here yet. But let's go ahead and drag this line. Okay. Move this stop to there. Thank you. Alright, and then we need to click to add a stop. There's that side. Move stop? No. Create a stop? No. Let's create a new line. No. Drag stop to move it. Maybe we just won't put a stop going the other direction until it's just giving me I'm just getting too frustrated. I can't handle it. This metro station seems to be very, very popular, which is exactly what we like to see. It is right here by the high school. Look at that queue for that bus stop too. That's crazy. Let's connect this path over here, give them more walking options. Yeah, there was just a huge bunch of people that got off of that bus stop and just walked around. I don't really like having the main crossing being on this main road here, especially when they have to cross horizontally. We do have that way for them to get over the top, but they aren't really using it. I wish I could turn off crossings there, and that way they could they wouldn't slow down traffic so much. That's a garbage truck. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see where these people... I mean, I guess they're just trying to get out of the city mostly. Especially because we're going to have, huge masses of people leaving the metro and getting off the bus. So hopefully... I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below if you think that I should just bite the bullet and download Traffic Manager President's Edition. I mean, I can drive it from there to there, and they still won't use that crosswalk. Okay, let's delete that. We could do an underground pathway like that. So that way they have a way to get across that way and then connect it to this pathway like that. And then go underground, connect that to up here. So that way hopefully they can, not cross there. I still think they're going to opt for crossing on the street just because that's like the most direct path. We finally have enough money saved up. We are going to complete our metro line throughout our city, so let's go ahead and grab that. Click our line tool, drag that over to our oil industry. That way everything's hooked up through public transportation. We did have bus stops that you could like transfer from, but this way they can just do a direct metro line. I got that one, both directions lined up. There we go. Okay. Finally, it's not giving me as much of a hard time anymore, thank goodness. So now that this metro station is lined up, people from all over the city can use the metro to get to work. And let's also do a walking path from that neighborhood over here as well. That way they can not have to jump in their car or wait for the bus. We'll just connect it to that pathway there, and then we'll connect it down to there. We are getting pretty bad traffic on this roundabout as well. We have a whole mass of people coming out of our metro and waiting at our bus stop now. So we should probably fix that. We could move the bus stop to the other side. Drag that over there and see if that helps people not cross over at that corner. No, they're still crossing over in droves. So maybe we just make it so that way that road doesn't connect up there. We do still need a road there because that's where our oil power is, but if we just drag it so that way it's... Okay. I don't want them to connect. Delete that road again. They just built up a... they just built something. Let's turn on all so that way it keeps straight. And we'll go to right there. So that way they're almost connected, but they aren't really. And then we can also build a little path from this side to that side. So people can walk, hopefully on the path, to get to that road over there where it looks like there's another bus stop right there as well. And that way they aren't having to cross over traffic, and that should also, lower the amount of traffic that we have turning left. So yeah, our pathway over here is getting a bunch of use already, which is what we love to see. Hopping back over, let's go ahead. We have enough money for our university. We'll just pop that in. That way we can get some more educated people in, so we can start building up office buildings, which I really like. They're just nice to kind of put as a barrier between really loud areas like the highway, and then between the highway and like train stations, especially since we're going to be messing with the train stations here soon. If we get more educated people in, we can just build up office buildings and they won't be a shortage of workers. Let's also, since this is going to be kind of like a university kind of area, let's put in some commercial. And then we also probably need some more high density residential, because over at my university there's like so many, like in my town, the university, there's probably like at least 10 different apartment complexes over there that cater specifically to students. So let's do a little bit of offices. Clear that out. We'll put an office space there. And then we'll do residential all around here. So that way people can just walk to school, no problem. The office workers for the university can go just right there. And it should be peachy keen. Already people are improving the areas. They love all of it. So, talking about train stations, I think it would be cool to put a couple of cargo stations around our town. That way, we're going to cut down on the amount of traffic on our actual highways. So, we're going to have a cargo station over here by our oil industry. We'll just do a little offshoot from the roundabout that we have built, and then probably put another roundabout down here so that way they can just turn around. Um, well, actually, this is looking kind of big, so how about we don't put a roundabout and we'll just have it dead end so that way they just turn around right there. And that way they can get back onto the highway pretty quickly, and then there's still enough like backup space for, a bunch of people. There's still enough space so that way hopefully there won't be a huge queue waiting to use the cargo terminal. And then we'll just hook it up, make sure that there's enough space for a full cargo train to enter and exit through the off ramps. We'll go ahead and connect it there as well. And then they need water, so let's just follow the road along and supply them with some water. And then we'll go ahead and build some electricity. We'll do down here and then over there. And wham bam, there we go. Our cargo station is up and running. I did struggle with the power lines, as per usual. That little the overpass of the highway is really, getting on my nerves over on this area of the map. But we just saw a cargo train get up and go. There's a bunch of traffic, but I think once we have that cargo train installed, that'll help. And then our other cargo lane is going to be over here, which is on the other side of the highway, across from our general industry and our lumber industry. So we're just going to make this a giant square about, one way in, one way out, and then a cargo train station right there at the end of, close to the train line. We'll just grab that and connect it up, and then we'll scoot down here. There shouldn't be any problems with traffic from this cargo train station going in, at least. And then we'll just plop down a little train. Where do we want it? We'll put it down there. And hopefully they won't have to pass over each other. I don't think they will to get in and out. So we'll once again give lots of space for the cargo trains to not get caught up waiting for other people. And then we'll just drag our water line over just directly like that, kind of not necessarily going with the roads, but... And there we go again. Let's just go ahead and throw in a wind turbine. That way it's kind of self-powered. And let's actually do that with the other one because the electricity wire is going to the end of the highway, and then it's just ugly. It's not cute. So we'll just get rid of it and make sure it's self-powered with some wind turbines in the middle of that little space. That looks a lot better. Looks really good. Traffic, as they get used to these new routes being available, will hopefully die down a little bit. We don't have any trains coming into this cargo station yet. I'm assuming that they're going to use the far cargo train to import goods, and then we're going to use this close one probably to export goods more often. And then this little area has been built up pretty nicely. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day.